Welcome back to Norwood News. Monday night, Town Manager Tony Mazzucco held an information session reviewing municipal finance and the basic terms of municipal finance to get ready for the upcoming budget season as well as town meeting. Town meeting starts Monday, May 13th at 7:30 p.m. and will be held in the NHS auditorium. NCM will be covering this live on the government channel as well as streaming it live on their website. Also on Monday, the Planning Board hosted Perry Makarios, owner of Spot Bagels, as he announced his plan to relocate to 95 to 105 Central Street, formerly ADJ Signs. Makarios is planning on a number of improvements to the building, including the outside signage of the building. According to the Norwood Town bylaw, any changes to the facade of a building in the Central Business District requires planning approval.
I think it's absolutely willing to work with you on this. I think it's a great start and a great improvement to that for downtown. As you probably know, we're making a real, going forward, effort to really do some things down there. And I think as a landlord, that's great that you're keeping things consistent and so I would definitely also be willing to work with you on any kind of special permit.
The board passed the vote for Makarios' application, and he plans to complete the transition by the end of the year.
Do you have a rough timeline?
Approximately, maybe about 8 weeks. It'll be finished.
So you are moved over there? No.
Not for the business,
No.
for the exterior improvements. Me moving into the business, hopefully before year's end. Depending, sometimes you come up with,
Stuff happens.
setbacks.
Stuff happens.
It does happen.
The next planning board meeting is Monday, May 20th at 7 p.m. The Board of Selectmen met in their chambers for their regularly scheduled Tuesday meeting. Appointments included Chief Brooks from the Norwood Police Department, Chief Maurice from the Fire Department, Segal Reese and Aubrey Seal of Impact Norwood, Town Assessor Tim McDonough, and Director of Finance and Accounting Tom McQuaid. McDonough and McQuaid discussed the proposed operational override and the dollars and cents effect it will have on the taxpayer of Norwood residents.
Right now, an average tax bill is $4,900. And, year one of the override, that's the big bump, $389.
Year one.
Year one for the average taxpayer. And then in year two, that figure would become $398 instead of $389. So in other words, in year two, there'd be, because of the 2.5% increase on everyone's taxes, there'd be an additional $9.73.
Town Manager Tony Mazzucco also explained further what the implication of the override is in terms of a tax increase after the first year of its inception.
One figure that I think is worth pointing out, so year one, the tax bill for the average home goes up $389. And again, that's based on the statistical average home price of $452,000. Year five, as a result of the override, your tax bill is $430 higher. So you're talking about a fairly small delta between the first year and the fifth year of the override. It's adding about $10 per year after the first year. So it's important that that number is clear to folks.
The next Board of Selectmen meeting will be Tuesday, May 14th. Also on Tuesday, the Zoning Board of Appeals held a public hearing on multiple cases. To start the meeting, some rearrangements were made as the board welcomed its newest member, Scott Murphy, appointed by the Board of Selectmen, and also appointed Thomas Brady as the new chairman of the committee. The discussion moved to the first hearing of the night concerning Lenox Street. After some discussion from both parties, there was a mutual compromise for space relief for the proposed plan that the committee granted.
Well, the compromise would be
15. I think what Phil said,
shiver and 7.
You're effectively deeming that for those, if we rent those out, by my calculation, what we need and what we have already, we're a little bit short, but that would be the relief you'd be giving. Yeah.
So the relief total would be 161.
You'd be authorizing a total of that 154 spaces in lieu of 164. 141 required plus the 23 we're trying to fill, the space we're trying to fill, makes 164, and we have 154 available now. So it's only 10 spaces.
10.
And they're different times a day, so I don't think you're taking a big risk on that.
The next Zoning Board of Appeals meeting will be in the coming weeks. On Wednesday afternoon, the Airport Commission met to cover new business, which included a presentation from Southern Airlines. Chief Commercial Officer Mark Sesteri presented a commercial permit interest to the Commission, proposing the operation of a commercial flight from Norwood Airport to Nantucket. During the nearly 20-minute presentation, Sesteri gave a brief overview of the company and presented their proposed plan for the Norwood to Nantucket service. Following Southern Airlines' presentation, the Commission discussed plans for a new 22-space parking lot, which would provide better handicap access to the different areas of the airport. The final discussion of the meeting was the availability of Lot ABC to go to bid for lease. The Airport Commission will meet again in the upcoming weeks. Wednesday's school committee meeting was packed with multiple guests and a wide variety of topics to cover as the school year draws near to its end. The evening started with Superintendent Dr. Thompson recognizing two outstanding students, Emily Murray and Soraya Adelaide, for their outstanding academic achievement and to recognize them with this special accomplishment. NHS teachers Jessica Kaplan and Philip Bueller presented their final proposal for the French Student Exchange Program. High school representatives presented on a new program, Career Pathways, and the Strategic Planning Committee presented their future plan. The committee spent much of the meeting tackling the pay-to-play option for athletics, arts, clubs, and activities in the event an override fails to pass on June 3rd. One of the main difficulties that kept resurfacing was the concern of Title IX compliance with athletics funding.
So if we're accepting fees for this, I have no problem with putting that out there, and I have no problem with, I have problems with collecting the fees, but if that's the way we're going to collect the fees, my point is those fees need to go into one bucket, and we then see who has registered and then sort out the Title IX implications afterwards. So my point with if football gets fully funded, right now we have a bundle that says football, field hockey, girls volleyball, and cheerleading, right? There is a theoretical possibility that football could get fully funded, girls soccer could get fully funded, and girls cross country could get fully funded. Those are from 3 separate bundles. We would not run each one of those bundles, because actually if you add up the numbers, we would be able to run football, girls soccer, and girls cross country.
Right.
This is part of my problem with the bundles. The bundles are too restrictive, and they don't allow, they put us, that would be another Title IX violation.
Right.
Somebody could sue us for having the money and not
Right.
running the programs, right? So this is why I think the attorney's idea of one fund is the best way that we avoid long-term problems and still allow people to do the fees, but people are going to have to go with the fact that there is going to be uncertainty.
The first motion to eliminate the possibility of pay-to-play altogether failed by a majority vote. The second motion, after some clarification, approved pay-to-play with deadlines for each activity being shortly after the special election on June 3rd, passed unanimously. The next school committee meeting will be May 22nd. The last meeting of Wednesday night was the Community Preservation Committee. With annual town meetings starting Monday, May 13th, the committee discussed upcoming Articles 13 through 15 on the warrant. Along with town meeting talk, there was a discussion of the financial review and the possible addition of a part-time administrative assistant. The CPC's next meeting will be June 12th. Thursday night in the NHS auditorium, Town Manager Tony Mazzucco hosted an override information session as part of the continuing town meeting information nights. Much of the night was spent discussing the budget and the effects the override will have if it passes and the effects if the override does not pass. The last hour of the meeting was spent fielding questions from members of the audience. Visit www.norwoodma.gov for future information session dates. Also on Thursday night, the PBCC held their monthly meeting. During the near hour-long meeting, the committee covered a number of topics, such as the St. Gabriel Chapel project and leaks at the high school. With the renovations of the chapel nearing an end, the committee spent the beginning of the meeting approving invoices. Following the approvals, the discussion turned to the time capsule. The committee will plan to hold a ceremony when the time capsule is placed back into the wall. Towards the end of the meeting, the committee realigned positions and elected Ted Callahan as the chairman and Bob Silk as vice chairman. The final item of the night was the leaking at the high school. The committee is planning to have a crew examine the issue. The next PBCC meeting will be in the upcoming weeks. To watch complete government coverage, tune into the NCM government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.